Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew. I'm Matt.
I'm Aunt Becky.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Tracy.
And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. At this moment, I'm making my way into the farm market because we got to get everything set up for the day. First things first, we always vacuum up everything that is on the floor, and then we clean off all of our tables. From having vegetables on your tables, there's always stuff that's left over, like pieces of broccoli. But whatever the case, we've got to clean off the tables and then disinfect everything. Now that I have got all of the tables cleaned off and Matthew is finishing off vacuuming, we can start pulling stuff out of the cooler. And then once we get everything pulled out of the cooler, we can get a good look at what needs to be filled up and what we need to harvest today. We just got everything in the farm market filled up. Dad just got back from the fields. He was working on a red beet order. Ever since what happened with the deer, we're struggling to get our red beet orders together, but we are able to get some filled. But now we've got the farm market all set up for the day. Daniel just about has the animals finished. We'll be out in the field soon. I am now down around back. We're waiting for Daniel to show up with the silage for the cattle. In the meantime, I got the eggs collected. I got 93 eggs out of the new hen, so that was pretty cool. Altogether, I just had this giant heaping basket of eggs. It made me hungry for breakfast. But for the most part, the animals are pretty well taken care of. The calves are all taken care of. All we need is that silage, which Daniel is on his way back with. Right now, we're in looking at our cattle. We need to move some over to the filling pen. We want to move 4 head over there. So we're just looking at them and seeing which ones we want to move. Got this big one right here. Oh, what's up, big girl? How you doing? We got our cattle moved over here into the filling pen, which we really need to do. We have a lot of orders that need to be filled. So now that they're over in that pen, we can keep a track of how fast they are growing, and that will really help us out when it comes to all the orders that we have. We just got finished with everything we needed to do down here. We were doing some fly control and we just got finished banding some calves. Now we should be ready to get out into the field. We have made it out to the field and we're getting started with harvesting zucchini. This is technically our 4th planting of zucchini this year. That's pretty exciting. We've had a little bit of trouble with zucchini. It might have been from the heat or other reasons, but earlier on in the year, the plants just weren't growing. But now, as you can see, we've got some nice looking zucchini plants. Right there, Dad.
This thing will blend right in.
It's a good thing you have my help. That's all I'm saying.
You know what would be nice is if they made zucchini that were like yellow, so they didn't blend in with the plant.
I think Matthew has a point. Here, Matt.
Up to the next planting is zucchini.
Did you see that? Your son almost ran over your beans.
No, he's good. I saw him. He's a professional. Look at my tomatoes. These should be ready in mid-September.
Now this would be our 3rd planting of pickling cucumbers and regular cucumbers. And not seeing too many. Oh, there's some small ones, but there is blossoms coming. That is good to see. We moved over to our 2nd planting. Now we need to harvest the pickling cucumbers because we have orders and we need the zucchini. But we're gonna get started with pickling cucumbers. Something I'm noticing as I'm harvesting today, there is a lot less cucumbers and a lot less blossoms here. Now that's normal because we are on our 5th week of harvesting for these pickling cucumbers, and that's to be expected. Would we like the plants to last forever? Yes, but we have to be realistic when it comes to vegetable farming. Now the pickling cucumbers are not dead by no means, but they are growing slower. Right here, these pickling cucumbers, normally we would have to harvest them even though they're small. But now we can wait because they won't grow too fast. And as I'm looking inside these rows, I'm seeing a lot of male flowers, but not too many female flowers. Here's a small cucumber right there, that's a nice one. And that means that we're not gonna be getting as many cucumbers as we were before. With all of the stress that these plants were under and how well they did through all of it, we're kind of expecting them to slow down. And this is where having plantings is so important, because we only need another 7 to 10 days out of these pickling cucumbers, and then our planting that you saw earlier is gonna start. So that's why we work on plantings, and that's why we work so hard at that, so we can always have fresh cucumbers to harvest. So are we upset that our second planting is coming to a close? I would say yeah. It helps us to appreciate that the year is moving by, but we always look forward to our next plantings. We thank all this planting did for us, but now it's time to move on. We got all of our pickling cucumbers harvested, and we've been working our way through the second planting of zucchini. All I've really noticed about the zucchini is that there is much less blossoms than what's been here before. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think everybody's excited about harvesting zucchini. Usually we'll tease my mom about the lack of zucchini because she usually harvests zucchini flowers and sells them. But we can't even say that because she's been harvesting the pumpkin flowers and selling them. But we'll probably still tease her about it. Hey Dad, you know what this alarm means?
Yep.
Everyone's excited about picking zucchini.
I thought it was lunchtime.
Matt's stomach's just growling again.
That's what this sound is?
Yeah.
Now, if you are curious what this alarm noise is, they're testing the alarms for the power plant that is over the mountain. They also use these alarms in case there's like an emergency or natural disaster, but they test them every so often, and it's funny to hear it. We always just say it's Matt's belly because he's hungry. Is that the moon? That's no moon. Half moon? Hold up, Dad! Hold it! I couldn't carry the baskets. You need to pick up your legs. You need to put down the camera and help me carry things.
Nobody will help me.
We just got all of our zucchinis and pickling cucumbers harvested. And now we're on to the next job. The next thing that we need is acorn squash. Now, if you've never harvested acorn squash, this is what they look like. And what determines if you have a nice acorn squash is if there is a nice yellow spot on it, just like that. We only needed 2 baskets of acorn squash, so that went pretty quick. We are in our old pepper field. This is where we had planted our peppers last year, and instead of pulling up all the drip tape, we decided to let it lay, and then we came through and planted some pumpkins, gourds, and some experimental stuff. And although it may be hard to tell because there is a lot of green here, there is a lot of nice stuff hidden beneath these leaves. And you know who gets the most excited about this, Dad?
Matthew.
Matthew, tell him why you get so excited.
Because you can't see any of it until you go looking for it, and then once you're out here, you find like all kinds of cool stuff. Like this big Cinderella that I can't pick because we're not ready to take them home.
Look at this thing. This right here is a Turk's turban. Here's a smaller one. Look at this. These are called a Turk's turban. Oh, something put a hole in it. I think we'll be able to sell that still, but that looks cool. Every once in a while, you gotta go on a walk through your fields to see how everything is growing. And checking on fall items is one of my favorite things to do. Ooh, looks cool. Woo! Looks just like you, Andy. Well, I can't believe Matt just said that about me. Can you guys believe that? Hey, here we go. Here are some Jack B. Littles. They look like tiny little pumpkins. They're very popular for kids. They're called Jack B. Littles. Now we are moving on to everybody's favorite job, picking peppers. Uh-oh. There's some damage. Look at that. See how it looks on the inside. Oh, see, it doesn't look too bad. You're harvesting in your garden and you see something like that, just so you know, that's all it is, one little spot. Cut that off and eat it. Now, as vegetable farmers, it's very difficult for us to sell something that has a mark on it like that. So good, but it still tastes great. So if you're growing something in your garden and it has a little spot on it, just cut it off and enjoy it. Oh, come on, I'll fit on there. Beautiful. I'm saving this plant's life. It's falling over. Too many peppers on it. That one plant probably had about 8-9 pounds of peppers on it. Almost a full basket off one plant. Now, as I was harvesting, I saw this pepper, and I just want to take for a moment and cut out this bad spot here. Okay, just cut that out. So this is what it looks like on the inside. This spot stays in one area. This could have been due to hail damage or another reason, but the rest of the pepper looks pretty good on the inside. The seeds look a little discolored there, but that's okay. But for the most part, the rest of the pepper is completely fine.
Can you use some assistance here, bud?
You need more arms, Daniel.
Thanks, bud.
Now, since we got finished with harvesting the bell peppers, I'd like to talk about an interesting subject quick, and that is, what do we do with peppers that have marks or imperfections? Most of the time, what we will do with peppers that have marks or imperfections is we will discard them back into the field, basically adding nutrients back into the soil. But I've seen many people pose the question, why don't we take those peppers, a lot of people call them seconds, back to the farm market and sell them at a cheaper price? Well, if you know anything about farmers, it's that we do everything we can to use our products to the full, and we hate wasting things, we hate spoilage. However, a lot of you may not know that we used to take lots of seconds back to the farm market and try to sell them. And sadly, what we found out was that it was almost a waste of time. Now, a lot of the time, seconds are peppers that have insect damage, so there was a worm inside, there was another bug inside, damage from the sun, or as we've seen this year, hail damage. Now, we already have plants that are loaded with beautiful peppers that have nothing wrong with them, as you guys have seen. And as I've mentioned already, our time is very important to us. And if we were to take time harvesting all of those seconds, so those peppers that have imperfections, one, we have to sort through them at home just to make sure that there's no bugs inside them and there's no other issues. We have to constantly check the peppers every day, because when a pepper has a mark on it and it's been harvested, it starts to spoil rather quickly. So we have decided as a family, it is not worth our extra time to harvest the secondhand peppers, the peppers that have imperfections, especially when we have all these acres of beautiful produce that still need to be harvested. Now, if you have a garden or you sell vegetables yourself, I'm not telling you to not harvest those seconds. They're good and you can eat them. I mean, when you see us munching on peppers out here in the field, that's usually what I'm eating, secondhand peppers. However, since we can provide our customers with a product that has no imperfections, that's what we're gonna do. And because we do that, it gives us a good reputation and people keep coming back. Now that we got all of the sweet peppers harvested, we've moved on to hot peppers. At the moment, we are working on harvesting hot cherry peppers, and we're starting to see some red and green in the baskets together. Well, that should do it for peppers. We got some nice sweet peppers and we got some hot peppers picked. Now, some of the sweet peppers were for an order. So now that we have those harvested, we're gonna have to get them home and get them boxed up. There's a lot of struggles when it comes to dealing with peppers, and we faced quite a few this year. We're very fortunate to have the beautiful pepper harvest we do. We stopped on the way home in the cabbage field and we got 7 baskets of cabbage harvested. We needed 6 for an order, but we got a few extra for back at the farm market.
I had to pick a new gourd for Callie because her mother threw her old gourd away.
Okay, that old gourd was like falling apart and was rotting.
This one is gorgeous.
Now that we are home, we just got to work on getting everything offloaded. Cabbage down. Now that everything is brought in, it can cool off. We're gonna eat some lunch and then we'll get all this sorted. Alrighty. Let's see what we're having for lunch today. Ooh, tacos. And then Grammy is over here canning green beans. How's that going? Good? All right. I just got finished with lunch, but I do need to run up to the house and do some editing, so I'll see you guys later on. Hey everyone, I'm back down at the farm market. The boys were working on many different things this afternoon. One big thing they were working on was picking some sweet corn. So I think Joel was picking up a horse somewhere, so he wasn't here at all today. But Gavin was here, and I believe Gavin drove for picking sweet corn. So they got some really nice sweet corn picked with large ears. We got the farm market all closed up, and now we are on our way up to the house. Who is sitting on the porch with Grammy? Who is sitting on the porch?
Callie.
Who is sitting on the porch? Oh my, it smells so good. What are we having for dinner tonight?
Tuscan herb pork tenderloin, zucchini, our own zucchini, and mashed potatoes.
Are you with Grandpa? What are you doing? We are all getting ready to sit down and enjoy our dinner. So that means this is where we're gonna be ending our video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.